Hello everyone, my name is Denver. I write for Demons of Celluloid. Now, I've never done a video review before, but I figured I may as well take a crack at it. If I'm good at it, awesome. If I suck at it, please let me know so that I don't subject you to any more embarrassment. Now, the film I've decided to tackle tonight is a new film from Corey Udler, The Girl Who Played with Dead. Now, Corey Udler is a director that I've known about for quite some time, but only recently discovered his work. Now, Corey promotes his films like they're these Troma-esque sleazy exploitation films. And while the films definitely have very dark and exploitative subject matter, they're far more intelligent and thoughtful than he's willing to promote them as. His films are very offbeat, they're original, they have interesting characters that are far from being caricatures, and his films are just not like anything else I've ever seen. Now, his new film, The Girl Who Played with the Dead, I'm not for sure if it's the best film he's ever done, but it's definitely my favorite film he's done. And I think a big part of the reason for that is the fact that it's a very strange and bizarre film. And I'm a sucker for films that are weird and offbeat and just bizarre. Even if they're not the best films in the world, that thing just kind of appeals to me. I mean, I think it's because pretty much a very weird and unusual guy myself, but I think another reason for is that films that are strange and unusual, they give me something different. When you watch as many movies as I do, you're always welcoming something different, something to break away from the monotony of seeing the same types of films over and over again. And a lot of directors that I admire have been doing something different this year. Dustin Mills, he did the fascinating experimental film Her Name Was Torment. Ryan Nicholson did the roughy anthology Dead Nude Girls, which I wasn't a big fan of, but I did appreciate the fact that he tried something different. Now, The Girl Who Played with the Dead, it's a story about a girl who has a sexual attraction to dead things. She's always looking out to see the most shocking, disturbing death footage she can find. She has fantasies about necrophilia. She's but the thing about it is that even though she has these urges, she desperately wants to lead a normal life. But it's hard for that to happen when she's surrounded by all these offbeat people. Like she has a guy who makes sex dolls out of Walmart supplies. She has a guy claiming to be Satan. She has these cannibalistic lesbians who are constantly making out on her couch. It's basically everywhere she goes, she is reminded of some sort of death. And I thought this was just an ingenious concept. And the thing about it is that this is probably Corey's sleaziest, film, but it's also probably his lightest. There's such an incredible sense of humor on display here, and you never feel dirty watching this film. No matter what weird and unusual thing Corey throws on the screen, you're always invested in this film because he writes such great characters. Now, the thing about this film is that it's got fantastic acting for one thing. Kristen Casey as the main character, she is absolutely a revelation in this movie. I don't recall seeing her in much else, but the thing is, her performance here makes me want to see her in more because she was just absolutely great in this film. Shannon Lark makes an appearance too, and she's not new to Corey's films, but she's always a breath of fresh air to see. And the thing is, this film doesn't take, it doesn't go the way you think it's going to go. It's not a predictable film. Corey loves to make films that are unpredictable, and I love that. I love the fact that even though he seems inspired by a lot of things like Troma, Full Moon, and a lot of the more stuff like that, he's not content with just making those types of films. Corey is an original filmmaker. He's got a very unique personal vision, and I think if he promoted himself more people would be aware of his work. Now, even though I singled out those two actresses, that's not to say there aren't other great actors here. Blade Braxton, he's awesome in this movie as well. And the thing is, Corey has really come a long way as a filmmaker. Each movie he makes, it feels like he's really progressed as a director, and this movie is definitely no exception. I mean, the way he moves his camera, his ability with his actors, his pacing is all spot on in this movie. It's just absolutely breathtaking how much he has grown as a director. I mean, I can only imagine what he's going to follow this up with. I mean, I know that he has an anthology coming out um, with some fellow Wisconsin filmmakers called Hole in the Wall, and you can trust and believe I'm absolutely ecstatic for that. This film is pretty short. It's only about an hour long, but that's okay because in that hour he's told incredibly intelligent original story. There's at no point in this film do you feel bored, do you not feel riveted to what it is that he's throwing at you. And this film also, you know, sees Corey kind of experimenting with subliminal imagery a little bit, and it's kind of done as a lark. You know, I don't want to spoil it for you, but you know, it's just something fun he's did. You know, and Corey seems to really have fun making films. He doesn't seem. I'm sure he takes his craft seriously. Don't get me wrong, but he also seems to really enjoy doing it, and that's something that really, you know, it really draws you in when you see a director really enjoying their material. And I think that's really what it, what it really matters, you know, in the independent cinema is because, you know, let's face it, a lot of independent directors are not able to make a living doing it. So you need to actually really love and have some serious passion for what you're doing. And Corey does. And The Girl Who Played with the Dead is a film that I recommend wholeheartedly. I'm gonna post a link to where you can pick it up, and I would definitely pick up his other films too. They're, you know, they're cheap, you know, which means that you're not going to be, you know, breaking the bank for a blind buy. And they're just great films. I mean, a, they're great examples of what micro budget independent cinema is capable of, and films like this are why I absolutely love independent films. So definitely check it out. If you hate it, you know, then I guess I have nothing else to say than you have bad taste because anybody with any sort of love of, you know, genre films or independent movies at all are going to have to love this. You know, another thing I'll have to comment on is the soundtrack is great. And that's one thing I've always thought about all of Corey's films is that puts he fills his movies with great music. And a lot of it's music I've never heard before, and I'm gonna have to, you know, find out how to pick up some of these artists' work because some of them are just absolutely fantastic. So yeah, definitely pick this one up. The Girl Who Played with the Dead is a terrific movie. You know, I'm definitely gonna give it 4.5 stars out of 5. So yeah, I guess I'll see you someday soon, hopefully. If not, well then you can always read my reviews on the written page. So peace.